Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine Wednesday. I am so excited to have my special guest here tonight, Santos Lopez. Thank you so much for joining. If you guys saw me a couple months back, I was in Albany, New York, and Jeff Hoffman had introduced me to Santos. And he's been working with OCC for a long time, and he's been a part of the veterans program. He served our country. He's just an amazing man, and he's here tonight just to give us a little history on himself and what he does to give back, and how special and just what an honor he is, or who you are, to be here. Sorry.
Oh no, thank you, Marissa. No, it was kind of fun hanging out with you and Jeff last month, because he's such a motivational speaker and he's such a smart guy, or he wouldn't be where he is today, which is kind of cool. And don't mind that rustling in the background. It's my giant dog. He's a 150-pound Mastiff, and for some reason he's playing right now, so he's allowed.
Yes, he is. That's
so when we met, it was kind of cool. Jeff was speaking at that event in Albany with Sharon Bernstein, and she has that motivational event, which was pretty awesome. And I met Jeff several months ago, and we just became really good friends. And of course, he's a smart business guy, and then we put us together. And of course, we like food, so hey, why not hang out?
right.
But I'm also for a while, we're working with, like you said, with Orange County Choppers, and for the past few seasons, since like 2018, that's how long I've been with the team. And I basically connected the dots between most of the bike builds on TV over the past couple of seasons, and still work with them now. And then I work with a lot of veterans organizations and just try to do good with the community and do stuff with. I'm also a Jeep enthusiast and a Volkswagen enthusiast. So somehow all my hobbies turned into work and fun. So
I love
what? It's not really going to work when you're having fun doing it, which is actually pretty cool.
Exactly.
So which is kind of cool. So if you looked at, one of my specialties, and I like connecting the dots, whether and sometimes connecting the dots, like we connected with me, you and Jeff, but you never know where life treats you. So one of the biggest secrets of me connecting dots is you just treat everybody like everybody else, and treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Like, for example, when I connected the dots with the first bike I did with Orange County Choppers, with the Spartan bike, I did the Spartan race back at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point about a year before we bid the bike. And I did the Spartan race with the Oscar Mike Foundation. So the Oscar Mike Foundation is actually gets disabled veterans on the move again, which is OM, Oscar Mike, and on the move. So it got disabled veterans on the move. I did the race with them, and I did it with one of my friends, Mike Speed, and we carried a World War II veteran in a sedan chair, which he made out of giant logs because it weighed a ton, and we carried him through the entire 7-mile course on our shoulders, carrying in a sedan chair. And Ralph was in his 90s, and he was a Battle of the Bulge World War II guy, and we carried him through the Spartan race.
God.
Yeah, so we carried him through the mud, over the cliffs, and through the rocks, and through the obstacles. And then we had other racers help us carry Ralph through this race. And it was a very interesting Spartan race. That was the very first one I did. And then when I went with Orange County Choppers, I said, hey, let's get a Spartan bike made. And I called my friend Erica Walker, and she said, great idea. So she called Joe and put that up. And now she's doing stuff with Warriors for Freedom nationally. And we work with a lot of disabled veterans. And it's really rewarding when you're working with them. And Warriors for Freedom I work with them as well. And they're one of my new favorite foundations. Not new because it's new to me, but they've been around for 10 years. They just sent a bunch of veterans scuba diving in Cozumel, and we're going to be doing some other cool things. So I'll be with them in Vegas and SHOT Show next week to try to create some veteran programs with Warriors for Freedom next week, and maybe do some shooting programs and some sportsman programs, and see where that goes next week, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that is amazing. I love that. That's so cool.
Hey,
I
it's only a hop, skip, and a jump. Go from Colorado to, it's on the same coast, kind of.
yeah, yeah, right.
Stop and do a road trip.
That's gonna be fun. I love that. I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. And I love the bikes that you've created, and the creativity behind all of that is just astounding, to be quite honest. I
Yeah.
think it's,
No, I just connected the dots. The other builders put it together.
yeah. Well, it takes a team, like Jeff
Yeah,
always
you put
said,
the team together.
you gotta bring
Which
in
is,
the people that can do things better than you, and you guys all come together and create something amazing. So
exactly, and it's all part of connecting the dots. It happens over time, and sometimes you don't know why things happen, or people meet for a reason, and you don't know what those reasons are, but sometimes it falls into place. One of my favorite dot connecting stories was when Donald Trump was running for governor of New York. My very good friend, David DiPietro, assemblyman, was on his gubernatorial team when he was running for governor of New York. Mike Caputo, Carl Palladino, and they were all on the team, and all of us are friends.
yeah.
And we were disappointed when Donald said, "Hey, I'm going to drop out of the gubernatorial race." We're like, "Ah, dude, all this work." And he says, "Okay, we can't, we'll drop out." So during this dinner one time, I was the chairman for SCOPE, the Shooters Committee on Political Education, one day, and Bill Noj, Dave DiPietro, myself were having a conversation in the parking lot, and they're all friends. And they said, "Hey, who do you think we should run for president of the United States? Should we run Donald Trump or this other guy?" And I said, I go, "Blanket, call Donald." and he goes, and we were telling him why, and we asked a bunch of our friends why you should do this. And then Carl and what do you call it, Mike Caputo, Bill Noj, and Dave DiPietro were talking, and they said, "Yeah, let's call him." So they called him, and for months he said no and thank you, and eventually Donald called those guys back and said, "Yeah, I'm going to run for office." And then that's how that started. So it was kind of interesting watching it from a conversation to a parking lot to you as the president of the United States.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. So not too many guys get to do that.
No.
And then Dave and I went to the inauguration together. We went down to DC and did that. That was kind of cool. And I love what he did for the country. And even now, even last December during the Army Navy game, I was attached to Donald's presidential detail under the president for the Army Navy game. I got attached to his motorcade detail for fun. So that was kind of cool. We picked them up at Stewart Air Force Base and all the vehicles and drove them down to the Army Navy game.
You got to ride in, they call it like the Beast, or what do they call it?
No, I actually got to drive one of the other transport vehicles. It was behind us. So I was like in the third vehicle behind the president.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
That's
so
cool.
like if something happened, I get to throw the vehicle in front of something. But no, it was we didn't have to. I would have turned it into a video or a movie or a video game or something.
Exactly, something action-packed.
Something action-packed, but nothing happened. We basically drove them there in the fog and just hope we didn't crash in the fog. Oh God, this is foggy out.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh, and how incredible!
But it was fun. That was fun. I got to do some very cool things, and even my time with Orange County Choppers. Let's see. One of the coolest things I did was we rode on the football game at West Point at the U.S. Military Academy at one of the home games, and we rode our motorcycles right on the field. I'll send you some links we could probably put up on your page later.
Gosh, please do.
Which was pretty cool. And then we've done some pretty cool stuff with OCC.
Yes.
It's done some amazing things. I've done the twist with Chubby Checker.
Oh my God.
So you do the twist with Chubby. You can't. I'm a bad dancer, so Asian guys can't dance.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll have to see it for myself. I'll be the judge.
All right. And you're going to go, yep, absolutely can't dance.
You weren't lying.
Yeah, so we've done some pretty cool things now. I've expanded consulting and different things with other companies and other organizations just to help other fellow veterans out, especially during this pandemic. Things were thrown upside down, crazy, backwards, and it's still not back to normal. And sometimes what I think is normal, other people, it's just gone backwards. Let's just put it that way, without going too crazy into it. And it'll take more than 15 minutes to explain
I know
how my views are.
right. But we will have you on again so we could talk on certain.
Oh, totally. We should do a cooking show and bake cookies and brownies or something.
Yes.
And do some
Oh,
recipe
how
cooking.
do I love to bake? I do.
Yeah, totally. We should do cookies and then brownies and do some munchies.
That sounds great.
Instead of wine Wednesdays, is how to gain weight on Wednesdays.
Well, wine helps.
Wine helps.
Yes, it does. And I love all of this. I'm so thankful you're sharing your story. I think, when Jeff wanted me to meet with you, he was so excited to introduce me to what he calls is just a real fun, down-to-earth human being who works hard, who loves his country, who's, sat with Donald Trump, who's done a lot of amazing things throughout with OCC. And then, just to have you in this realm, sharing a little bit about yourself to the viewers. It's just amazing. I'm just so grateful. And the reason, I don't know if you know, Santos, but the reason I do Wine Wednesdays is because I have partnered with One Hope Wine, and they give back 10% of their profits to a charity. So it's a giving back wine company. And so when we do our events, like we've talked about the veteran events and stuff, they will support that charity, however when I buy my supplies, I set up the link for the charity, and then the proceeds of that go towards that charity. So that's why I do Wine Wednesdays, because it's to help One Hope Wine make a difference in the world. You and I doing charity events, all the things you do and what you're sharing, it's all just to make the world a better place. So
totally. I have some of their wine in my kitchen right now, actually.
Oh, so
So totally.
So that's why I do Wine Wednesdays. It's really for One Hope. But then for you and I and for whomever comes on to share, when we get together, we can support a charity of our choice. So
like I was saying before, it's like it was kind of crazy how things just go around. You never know where it ends up, and we just have fun, and people meet for a reason, and Jeff, we just hit it off because he's just a funny dude. And sometimes his sense of humor is just kind of like my sarcastic sense of humor. Yep. So, and that's the funny part, because if you can't make fun of something, it's like, okay, that's like stupid. Exactly. And what I may think is, so some people are just, they just don't take common sense into practicality anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, where does that fit in?
Exactly.
Without going crazy and now we're just going to have, enjoy life. That's the way I look at it. You connect dots, enjoy life. And that's what we got to do. And sometimes you got to kick back on a Wednesday with a bottle of wine, chug it, and just say, heck with it.
Exactly.
Why? Exactly. Because you don't have to. Just drink a bottle of wine and chill.
Exactly. Life doesn't have to be so complicated all the time. You can do things and help people and just live. This is an adventure. Everything's an adventure. And I love your analogy about connecting the dots and the pieces, because it's all part of the adventure of life. And then, like we mentioned earlier, when you meet the special people in your life, then now they continue on the adventure with you, and you're on their adventure with them. And just that's what makes life beautiful, the connection.
Exactly. If you treat people like people, things come back. And I believe in good karma and bad karma. You do good things come back. You do bad things come back.
Yep, I do too.
Like Assemblyman DiPietro, Dave and I, like I said, are really good friends. And then we built that Vietnam wall bike, the new one that was aired a few years ago. That was because of Dave too. And then we did that to support the veterans up by his neck of the woods, because they want to build that Vietnam wall. And then the whole pandemic thing's crazy, so everything is put on a little hold on some things. But we're going to work on some projects, and all you got to do is try, and it doesn't hurt helping people out when you can.
It never hurts. There's no greater feeling than doing that. I feel like, you can achieve so much in life, but when you're really able to get in and impact someone's life and help someone, it just really sets the bar, and it just kind of just fills your heart with so much joy. You can't really describe it, so, and I wish that we had more time, because I would love to keep you on longer. It just takes forever for the videos to load, and I'm new to all of this, as you know, with our technical issues today. But
Oh, no technical issues here.
I know, that's,
Nope.
but
I am totally being sarcastic.
I know. We'll get into that another time. But I couldn't thank you enough for being on,
No problem.
I'm so excited for what you shared with me earlier about the OCC owner or CEO, Joan.
Oh yeah, like I said, Joni, I mentioned earlier with our technical difficulties, I wanted to go more into detail with some of the OCC stuff, but I talked with Joni. She texted me and she would love to be on your show eventually too. We just have to schedule another date. So she would love to chat and possibly bring Paul on board and then have her talking as well. And she said she'd love to. So then you can get more insider scoop on stuff in the Orange County Choppers team. And Joni said she'll be more than more than willing to do a cool interview with you.
I love that. And I love you, that. And I thank you so
awesome.
much. You are amazing. And I couldn't thank Jeff enough for us meeting and connecting. And he'll definitely have to watch this. I'm going to message him to tune in to Wine Wednesday to see what you and I did. I know.
And then we definitely have to go get Chinese food again.
I know. We will do that. That's a must. And the fact that Jeff's story was pretty funny about Pete Fleming and how Fleming Steakhouse, and how he's the owner.
We went to PF Chang's. If all these watching don't know, and if you all, I'm due to spoiler. I didn't realize that Jeff knew him, but Peter Fleischman Steakhouse, or that's what PF stands for. And he wanted to make it Chinese, so he added the word Chang's at the end. I was like, wow.
So he's like, have you heard of PF Chang's? Because it's Pete Fleming Chang. I just put Chang on there to make it a Chinese restaurant. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty clever though.
I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I was going here because I really like the Mongolian beef.
I know. And I still love it. It's so funny. It's just a small world. But I thank you so much, Santos, for coming on.
Oh, no problem.
Everything. And I hope you have an amazing night. And obviously we'll be in touch because we're going to be doing some things together with the veterans and giving back. And I can't wait for that all to come together.
Oh, no, definitely. We'll chat soon.
You. Sounds good. Have a wonderful night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.